Dr. Dhurandhar, you can hear us okay?
I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, please, if you would take a few moments to offer your perspectives.
Sure. I have just a few slides. If they can be projected, I can get started. So is the slide up?
Yes.
Okay. So can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Nick.
Okay, great. Thank you. So yeah, thank you again for the opportunity to share my thoughts one more time, and also to learn so much about environmental pollutants and its various impacts. My comments are going to be mainly from obesity perspective and what I see as research in this area, starting with just a simple statement that obesity, one would think of obesity as energy surplus, obviously. And next slide. And what would one do about that energy surplus would be to reduce that energy surplus. That would be by, now I think you went 2 slides too fast. No, there's too many slides. If you just go to second slide, one more slide back. One more. Yeah, thank you. So the point is about energy surplus would be to reduce energy surplus, would be to decrease energy intake or increase in energy expenditure. Obviously, that would be done by either increasing activity or increasing metabolic needs. And we are trying to do that by asking people to eat less, move more. There are drugs, surgery that would tend to address this, how to reduce energy surplus. But now what probably is not as often thought of is what's on the left side, and that's the next slide, please, would be what is upstream of energy surplus. In other words, what does cause energy surplus? And that would be increased energy intake and decrease activity or metabolic need. Now, one more question would be, what is upstream of this? What is upstream of increased energy intake or decreased activity? And I like to say that that is because of dysregulation of energy balance. And by that, no, just going too fast. Go back a slide, please. Dysregulation of energy balance, I would mean, but by that what I mean is in people who are not obese, who are lean, they are able to maintain their body weight, let's say, but that's not done consciously. That is done at a different level. I guarantee that none of us can tell accurately by the end of the day how many calories exactly did we consume on a given day, counting all the steps and walking and running and what have you, by the end of the day, and including our metabolic rate. We can have a ballpark estimate, but not accurately. Nor can we tell accurately how many calories we ate in a day, all meals included, not accurately. And yet, these people are able to maintain their body weight. That means they are regulating their body weight at some level, not knowingly, unknowingly, unconscious, subconsciously. Which also means that those people who are not able to maintain their body weight, there is a dysregulation of energy balance, and that is leading to that energy surplus. Now, next slide, please. So what is really a curiosity for me would be to have what are the upstream contributors or modifiers of this dysregulation of energy balance, or even that would interfere with reducing energy surplus. And the next slide, please. And here is a slide that I have borrowed from Dr. Claude Bouchard at Pennington Center and modified just a bit. And this is a very partial list that of contributors or putative contributors to weight gain. And you can see how many are there on this slide, and there all of them cannot fit on one slide. But if you look at it in various ways, the red color shows social environment and factors that might be included in social environment. Then there is purple color, physical environment. Then the blue color on your right side is behavioral factors. And the green color at the bottom is biology, biological factors. And then there are so many in that, each one of those as well. All of these together probably are influencing energy expenditure and energy intake through the filter of genetic predisposition, which may or may not result into overweight or obesity. So this is a reality. And in one individual, several of these factors may be operational, and another individual, it could be a completely different composition of factors that may be determining that person's body weight or obesity. Now, the question is, if this is a state, and if we start focusing only on one factor of our choice in an attempt to control obesity, it is going to be inadequate, in my opinion. So next slide, please, just to illustrate that. Here is a slide. Let's say we have a buffet, and each of these dishes has calories, and that you are concerned about calorie consumption of people enjoying this buffet. And then you decide that you are going to focus on one of those dishes for its caloric contribution to that person's caloric intake. And therefore, you decide to focus on that dish, and then maybe you reduce the size of the packaging or make policies against that dish or what have you. Or you remove that dish from that buffet. Next slide, please. And this is how it will look if you remove one dish from that buffet. Now, this is a condition I call digging a hole in water. If you remove a particular product that is contributing to caloric intake, but there are other on the table that are going to be there to contribute to caloric intake, that is what I think is digging a hole in water or digging a hole in sand. It is really going to get filled by something else. So an attempt like focused attempt on just one aspect that contributes to obesity may not yield most desirable effects, that the results that we want. Next slide, please. Therefore, I submit that after all this, I like to use the word obesities just to make the concept clear that it's not obesity but obesities. There are multiple conditions involved that may have similar symptoms, but they may have really different types of conditions. For instance, what comes to my mind is jaundice. If the word jaundice doesn't tell you, is it viral due to viral hepatitis, is it due to cirrhosis, is it due to cancer, or some other condition. Same way, obesity, in my mind, doesn't really convey the effect that obesity conveys. Next slide, please. And therefore, I feel that cause-specific prevention, treatment and preventions may yield better result if we do consider causes of obesity, which we know are multiple, but we don't do that. And we don't do that because we don't have quite a clear understanding of what are actually exactly the causes of obesity, or what clearly are the contributors to obesity. And therefore, I feel that research is needed to identify true causes of obesity that are really upstream and not midstream causes of obesity. So as a physician, I always like to say that when somebody presents with cold, I don't treat the nose. I treat what caused that cold. Maybe there is allergy, maybe there is an infection. So I think that is the approach that is required, multifactorial approach for a multifactorial disease. So those are my initial thoughts. Thank you.